Hello, I'm Marcus Eikenberry from Trust2, and this is Stephen Davis from SecurePlay and the blog playnoevil.com. And Steve writes a really great security blog.
Thanks.
And touches on one of the subjects I want to talk about today, which is game accounts.
Yep.
And some of the problems. You know, there's the theft of the accounts. There's the phishing and stealing the accounts
for
the passwords. There is power leveling services that are not so reputable, and
as opposed to the reputable ones.
Let me think about that for a second. You know, I have some people that I've done business with that offer power leveling that I've never had complaints about, but you're right, I don't know if any of them are actually reputable.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, well, maybe that's another topic.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
So, recently, very recently, like a couple of days ago, World of Warcraft, Blizzard, went to a new thing, which I don't know very much about it yet, but basically you're able to put your World of Warcraft account into your Battle.net account now.
So you're gonna have like a unified Blizzard identity.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
It's not bad.
Or it sounds cool.
Especially if you can use the little number fobs.
Yep.
For all of them, then.
Yeah.
Because then you have the one fob and you can use that on all of your accounts. Yeah.
And maybe you could use it someday with Guitar Hero since they're part of Activision.
So basically, this.
I could use my Guitar Hero. That's my. Anyways.
They just came out with Metallica on Guitar Hero. It's really awesome. Anyway, okay, off the subject. So the in Battle.net, when you add the World of Warcraft account to your Battle.net account now, it actually takes over the whole account. And I heard of exploits going on right now, or social, it's just another tool for these people who are, social engineering to say, okay, let me look at the account for a minute when they're thinking about doing some sort of trade or something like that of accounts, which Blizzard does not support, by the way. It's a violation of the terms of service, and they'll ban your account if they catch you doing it.
Don't do it.
And so they then they say, okay, I want to see it for a few minutes, and the other person figures, okay, a few minutes won't hurt. I'll change the password. I'll bump them out, and everything. And then they find out that their account has just been attached to a Battle.net account. It changes the last name on the account, on your World of Warcraft account, and attaches it to that Battle.net account, and it's gone. So this is the exploit as I know it right now. The details are just emerging on this, so I'm sure we'll have something more formal later on exactly how to prevent it or how to avoid it. But this is
don't give people your account information.
Well, this is true, and I'm sure that that's what Blizzard's going to say, because that's their policy on that. But this is not a new thing.
No.
There's been all kinds of different ways to steal your account or abuse it.
Right, because the account is you, and it's where the value is in all of these online games and services.
So recently you mentioned something about how World of Warcraft accounts were worth more on the black market than stolen credit cards.
It is so awesome, isn't it?
So how much is a credit card worth?
The numbers I saw last year sometime was about $1.50 for a U.S. credit card account with all your name and credit card number.
Enough information to make a purchase somewhere.
Enough to make, some of them in Europe are worth more, and I guess basically I don't know if it's just there's a glut on the market. You hear about all these credit records getting stolen by payment processors.
Yeah.
But and then a World of Warcraft is worth, at least last number I heard, was more than $10 an account.
I wonder if that's because the average World of Warcraft account goes for like $300 to $500 being sold on the market, whereas they may not get that much out of a credit card.
Well, I think,
Or because it's easier?
Well, the other thing is just there's zero risk. As we talked about earlier, there's, Blizzard isn't going to help you.
FBI is not going to knock at your
gonna,
door
no.
at the person who stole it or nothing. You have to be a serious criminal, or you have to seriously want to be caught in order to have somebody knocking at your door.
Sure. Well, and these guys also aren't necessarily in the United States.
Correct.
And so finding out where they were, who they are, taking them to a court, convincing a jury of your peers, and we use that term loosely, to prosecute them and find them guilty.
Well, even finding them is is just as
but even if you
difficult.
could, could you take the case to trial and win?
Yeah, not likely.
No.
So, another way that we touched on power leveling.
Right.
Now, tell me some of the ways you think power leveling is abusive.
Well, in order to power level, which I assume your users all know, which is basically outsourced gameplays. We play so
To
you
raise
can
your character
raise your
level.
character level by maybe someone who's a little better at twitching their fingers than you are, or at least has a lot more time and less money than you do. To enhance your character, well, they need full access to the account.
Absolutely. So they need your login and password.
Yep, unless you got the fob. Can't power
Whoa.
level really well without the fob. But anyways,
That's interesting.
it's a pretty nice anti.
It is.
anti-power
It is.
level.
I suppose you could FedEx them the fob.
Yes.
One of these power levelers, one of these days, will offer that as an option, I'm sure.
Yep.
So yeah.
But in general, actually it does a good number on power leveling, the fob. But in general, you give them your username and password, they log in and play as on your behalf, get you the cool loot and levels and whatever you want, and then for a fee, after you've paid your fee, they return your account back to you. And most people think they're golden.
Right. But what actually they find out is that they get banned a few days later for gold selling. But even though they weren't selling, because what they're using, they were not only they were power leveling after the fact.
Yep.
So they're out there botting to gain currency.
Yeah, or just shouting, buy
spamming.
gold spam, right? The typology of gold farmer roles are the actual farming accounts, the mules that hold the funds, the people who are the faces for the transfers, and then the marketing accounts. And so these are great marketing accounts because you can, you don't have
abuse
anything,
the hell out of them.
and then they're,
And especially,
and you don't care if they get banned.
especially if the power leveling company is a false front. There's actually a couple of sites out there that I've seen that offer all these power leveling services, and they look really glorious, and they have great prices.
Yep.
And you can get onto live chat, and you can actually speak to someone.
Yeah.
And once you pay them, you've lost the money. And once you give them your account information, you've lost your account.
Yeah, and you give them your credit card so they can do other fraudulent stuff in many cases with your account information, depending on what you do. And maybe if you're really lucky, you'll install some malicious code on your computer. Get the whole package.
Yeah, God. So actually, I think that I see a lot of complaints about the gold sales and account sales and power leveling and stuff, and I'm really in tune with that market, and so I hear a lot of the complaints about people being dishonest in the industry.
Right.
And I would say that the number one complaint is about power leveling. And it's either they do a really crappy job, or they get them banned, or whatever.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. Well, that would be an extra crappy job. And so it's
Well, because you actually are surrendering control of your account, so you're most at risk.
Yeah.
It's like inviting some stranger into your home.
So I guess I'm going to recommend that nobody does power leveling, even though I can't say all power levelers are bad.
Yep.
But I can say that there's enough of them out there that you got to be willing to take one hell of a risk if you're going to use a service like that.
Well, yeah, probably that's the short answer. And also, if you are foolish enough to do that, make sure and change your password. And as we were talking about earlier, your confirmation, your secret questions.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of an interesting
some
thing
of
you
them
told me.
can be changed, some of them can't.
Right.
And but it's the secret SQA, secret question answer, and I guess that would be a good thing to change. So anyway, not something I recommend.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.